Howdy folks, I think we're going. See if the bot's working. Anybody wants to play any games? Hi Ernest. Get back onto this screen right there. Well, I'm finishing it up today. Shouldn't take too long. Tape is stuck to my towel. Got the electronics here. Pulled out of the old truck. It's a matter of getting them into this one. Already got the double-sided tape on the bottom of the components. We'll get started on this. Receiver. Gonna be the first one to go in. It's gonna go as far right as I can get it. Go ahead and put the antenna in. Should have probably swapped receivers with a newer one, but this one's still working. It's a little older school. We're used to change it if it's still working. Set screw holds the antenna in place. I should have pulled probably some of these wires off, but if I can get everything in place without having to tear anything apart, it's all good. Second thing to go in is going to be the switch. Still got a little carpet fuzz off the, actually it might be the ESC. We can probably finagle that switch into place. Set it up just a little different than my old truck. It's a little less space. In the front, the way the car's set up now, get it as far right as I can so I got plenty of room to get the switch, and that way that's the heaviest component. Get it in the center of the car as much as I can. I probably should have recut this little bit of shrink wrap on those wires, but we'll deal with it. after bit. Come on. Got it. Switch shoved down in here. Previous truck I had to switch up in front, but there's less space in here on this truck's. So I had to reconfigure it just a little bit, but I like the more space here now that you can actually get that ESC over in the center. There we go. This thing we'll do, we'll get the wires routed to the sensor wire and the fan wire routed to the back through the center. They should kind of fall into place. Should still kind of have the wrinkles in it that they did before. Get a piece of black tape cut here to hold them in place. Need about that much. Get them wires to tuck down in there. Nice and flat. Okay, the one wire is not where it needs to be. That's the reason it's fan wire needs to get routed through here. Same way with the sensor wire for the motor. Now they'll probably lay down in place. Yeah, for some reason that fan wire wants to go underneath the sensor wire. I wish that the fan wire would be a wire that's stuck together rather than two loose leads like they are. There, we got it where it needs to be there. Still trying to get under that sensor wire for some reason. Still is. And doggone it. I say I wish they'd made this wire a stuck together strand. I wouldn't be fighting this. There, it's down into place. There we go. And since I got room, I'm going to go ahead and put a second strip of wire or tape up at the top and at the back. The little foam pads there raise this up enough to the battery that goes underneath or on top of them wires. It raises them up enough that plenty of room for the tape. Don't look as pretty, but batteries in there, you don't see it anyway. There we go. And I can't remember if this is, I'm pretty sure if you plug it in backwards it will run backwards, but we can always swap that. Now it's time to get the motor in there. It's not quite long enough to be able to plug the sensor wire in there without having the motor kind of set in there. I got enough slack, there it goes. Before I drop down, let's get that sensor wire around here. I think it goes this way. It'll only go one way. In there. Oh, and I screwed up already. Yeah, good thing I caught it here before I got everything plugged in. Got my motor screws sitting here in the end of the motor. Wouldn't go in there with these in there. I would have got going a little earlier today. I've been kind of watching. There's a big race up in Wisconsin this weekend. I've been kind of watching. Some of our locals are up there. One of the youngsters is doing really good. TQ'd the first round of qualifying last night. I'm both two-wheel and four-wheel drive stock. Didn't do as good today for the second round so far, or they just got done with it before I come on. Yeah, I think the sensor wire is in place. Make sure it's plugged in solidly. I think it is. Okay, now we need to stick this screw back in so we know how far we can. Don't think the motor needs to go clear ahead like it would in my 13.5 truck, but and time to mount the motor in. See if I can spot one of the motor mounting screws to the holes. Should be right there. Okay, do I got the ball end? Oh, that's my 2. Need a 2.5 gonna say, why wasn't that screw staying in place? Okay, there's, should be in place to get this one in. Won't tighten it up till get the pinion gear on there. And hopefully the bottom one will go in. And I'm not hitting it. There it is. And leave it loose. Got the pinion here. Of course, the motor isn't in the right spot. Go. Line the gear on the shaft. Excuse me. Okay, now we'll get these, the little bit of slack in the gears. Should be close. Feels a little bit loose. Go ahead and snug it down, take a look at it. A little bit too loose. Too tight. Feels pretty good. Let's see where it's at. There we go. I'm going to tighten down the motor screws. We'll go ahead and tighten down these other two waterfall screws while I'm thinking about it. Excuse me. Okay. Still got to get the servo plugged in. Steering servo. There it goes. That's plugged in. Shove the wires kind of down in there. Probably should have rerouted these wires a little bit. Don't look bad in there. I'm not particular. Get the coil kind of put back into the transponder here. So tighten up the wires a little bit. And we'll need a piece of Velcro to stick it down. Hook side. That's probably a big enough chunk right there. Actually, I'm going to have to trim on it just a little bit. I shouldn't have pulled the backing off, but it'll be all right. Stuff's pretty sticky. So that's in place. Okay. I think the electronics are all in. Now it's just the little bit of other stuff. The battery tie down bolts in place. And I'm not using the factory battery strap. I've been running the Trinity ones. That's out of the old truck. I need a couple screws. I need to get since I'm not running a side fan mount, since I got this one, just need this little plug that goes down in here. The screw goes up from the bottom in it yet. And I'll if there's a left and right. It is a little off center, ain't it? Yeah, it's got a flat side there, so that's got to go to the inside. Of course, that sensor wire, I should have put it in before the sensor wire. Hey, Dennis. Starting to look like a truck now, isn't it? Just about ready to make it roll. Got the electronics in. Just got a few cosmetic things yet to finish up here. Somewhere in here there's a little button head or a flathead screw that I need. Need these. Somewhere there's a flathead screw. That looks, no, that's a button. Probably that one right there. Just go right in there. Of course, that's the wrong wrench. Yeah, I think Ernest might be kind of in and out. Okay, I need the battery posts. Yeah, I think it's the front hole. No, I think it's the back hole. But I'm going to look. Of course, they don't tell you which one, but it is in the front hole. Guess it makes sense. It'd be kind of in the center. Suppose you might use the back hole if yeah, I figured you were, Ernest. I kind of thought you might be still hanging out. And I don't remember quite how far to put these down in. You've got to put them in flush with the top of the battery. That's the thing, getting them started straight. There, maybe I got it going. Battery set in here. I need to go a little bit more. For some reason that one's bowed out. I sort of remember that on the other truck that the still not there yet. Those are bowed out a little bit. Okay, that one's pretty close. Yep, that side is too. I don't know why that is. Needs to go another turn or so. Okay, that should be pretty close. Hopefully I got enough juice in the battery to make it go. Should have. Well, I think that's everything besides putting the wheels on it. Quick look over it. Of course, I will, even though I get it running here, hopefully, in a couple minutes, I still will have to take it out and align it. I've got a piece of marble out in my shed that's flat. That I'll have to do that on. Actually, I do have a setup board in here, but put some wheels on it so we aren't just spinning on without any resistance. Oh, my light's in the way. How that got bumped. Looks like I'm a little bit these links. They say the book numbers are just a quick reference. They aren't exact. Numbers they give you for the length of the tie rods. So we got a little camber out going on. That's not the way it should be. But I think that's it. Where's my radio at? Okay. Moment of truth. Like the steering's pretty good. My gosh, she's functional. Cool. It's saying now, all we got left to do on it's doing alignment, which I can't do on here. Yes, it is. It's alive. Should be over racing this weekend with it, but they had a race, warm-up race for the big race next weekend. But I knew I wasn't going to it, so. Anyway, okay, well, I think we are done. Thank you guys for dropping in. What did we get? 45 minutes. Yeah, that's about what I figured it would take. I'll have to do a little more work to it I can see these wheels are tilted out. They need to be sucked in. I can see it just looking at it. They're not bad. They're pretty flat at about 0. Probably about 1 or 2 turns off on these links here. Steering looks pretty well straight. Just looking at it. And it looks like the front camber isn't far off either. Looks like got just a little bit of tilt in on them, which usually run about 1 to 1.5 degrees of camber in on them. But yeah, we'll do our coin. Yep. You know, Ernest, I've got ideas for a sticker now too. I'll eventually get it made here. I figure I will have some coins in a wagon behind a tractor, and I'll have my little RC car jumping over it. That's kind of the sticker idea I've got for my channel. I have to put the thought to somebody that can make some. But I kind of thought about that. You always talking about the grains of silver, but it'd be kind of cool having a wagon behind a tractor with some coins in it. But yeah, we'll do our stream tomorrow. We'll get going about 1 o'clock. Try to get it done well ahead of the Super Bowl. I got some quarters again, a couple more those little short rolls of quarters, and we'll do some pennies again, and we'll go from there. So, thanks guys for stopping in. We are out of here. I can get back to watching my RC races online. No, I haven't. He's out of like Nebraska too. I've actually, the guy that designed, well, Dennis, you seen, I sent one to you, my discharger stickers. There's a guy down in Kansas City that does them, so that's pretty close to me too. He does stickers for all these RC cars, so he might have a good idea how to make a little car jumping over the wagon or whatever. But anyway, okay guys, we'll let you go. I just had to come in and finish her up. So I could have been done yesterday if it wasn't for all the messing around that I did. Screwing up I did, I should say. So we'll see you guys maybe tomorrow.